Remember,
Winner heat number
racers,
2.
this is for 5 laps and no time limit. Racers, get ready. Set. Go.
And they're off for the start of main event number 1. Keith taking the lead this time over Connor. Connor close behind. All of them firing through the XGR building track and going up to Y-Tech, making their left. Switching to Connor's cam. Fighting for first place with Keith going over to private parking right now. Got to get in between that gap in the building. Very nice close turn. Keeping the G's in check. A little bit of yaw going on there, but keeping it together. Coming up to upper crisscross, making his hard left. Heading toward radio tower, we got to get through those antennas, make the right down to VIP corner. No problem, Connor's got it under control. Meanwhile, Flip-A-Dip right behind in second place. Coming down through VIP corner, switching through the antennas. Things are pretty tight right now. Switching to the Shack News view, we've got about 1 second between the two. And they're coming over to Kovalex, going through the gap right now down the street. Connor just making the left turn at North Star and finishing up the lap number 1, getting through there with very fast time. Now remember guys, this is 5 laps. These guys don't have to be going this fast. It runs a lot of risk of problems happening. Switching back over to Connor's camp, coming up through Y-Tech down through lower crisscross, making the right over into private parking. A clear lead over everyone else as long as he can keep it together. He's got this in the bag. We have an explosion. Kelsar is out. Kelsar hitting the pads over at VIP corner, and he's out. Back over to Connor's camp, picking up some G's, going over toward radio tower, making the right side turn here. This is lap number 2. You can see where Kelsar didn't hit the pad there.
Got an autopilot.
Sounds like you can hear some engines right behind him. Switching to Flip-A-Dip's cam. Flip-A-Dip within
there
1
are 2
kilometer.
racing events
That's
going on.
practically
You've
nothing in
known
these
about
ships.
it.
We'll see what happens.
Oh,
Shack News Cam watching
Flip
Connor
DNF.
coming through the North Star turn after Kovalex going into lap number 2. Flips out. Connor is alone with the lead right now. Just has to hold it together. Watching him finishing up lap number 2, going up toward the
Leaders
XGR
on
building.
lap 3.
Connor coming up toward upper Y-Tech. You can see where Flip-A-Dip didn't make it over there. Dying after the North Star turn. We'll turn on the in-race comms so you guys can hear it. I apologize for not having it earlier. Switching over to, let's see if Euro Trucker's cam is working. Let's see if we can get that going here. There's Euro Trucker getting us a view over from, looks like the XGR building. Watching them come around, yeah, the start finish. So we've got the stragglers coming through. Switching to Shack's cam. Looks like Connor's got a clear lead going through radio tower, heading over to VIP corner. Looks like Kappa and Keith might be fighting for second place behind. We'll switch over to Luigi's cam and see what our standings are. Yeah, they're pretty far behind. Connor with a very clear lead coming through the end of lap number 3 right now. Again, just has to hold it together. 5 laps for the main event here. Connor making the last final right-hand turn going through lap number 3 for the start finish with a 55-second lap. Very impressive. Switch to his onboard, picking up the G's going through the XGR building, making a left, coming up toward Y-Tech. Y-Tech nicknamed the Great Filter on this track because of how dangerous that turn is. Making a right, heading over to private parking now, straightening up the TVI. This is a tight turn, better if you can take it as close as you can, but with obvious risks there. Picking up the G's. Not hammering up on the TVI, good G control there, nice and safe. Again, this is more of an endurance race versus the heats, 5 laps versus 2. Coming to radio tower, making a right, heading down toward the VIP corner. Connor with a clear lead still, switching over to Shack. We got another DNF on the track. We have another DNF. Sika is out. It's just Connor, Kappa, and Keith are the only remaining racers. Anything could happen here. Connor still needs to hold it together, but a clear lead has a lot of opportunity to just slow down and take it casually. Switching over to Connor is on board again, heading toward the end of lap 4. And yeah, starting on lap number 5. Coming up through the XGR building, going up to Y-Tech. Hard left turn here, dangerous turn. Gets through no problem. Lower crisscross, making a right, back over to private parking. Meanwhile, we have views on the other racers, but they are very behind. Keith looking like picking up a little bit of distance, getting into second place, but still on lap number 4, along with Kappa. Switching to Connor's onboard. Definitely taking these turns a little slower, but that's fine. Big advantage here on lap number 5, heading down to VIP corner, making the right through the turn, and heading over to Kovalex. This straight here is where you can unload a lot of speed. Making a right here, hard aero braking turn to the right. Switching back to Luigi's camp for the final stretch of the race. Connor coming through the finish line. Looks like we lost Kappa. It's just Connor and Keith. Connor coming through the finish line for first place
Winner
in the main
of main
event
number
number
one,
one. Congratulations.
Keith,
Connor
are you
Risnick
dead or are you still autopilot?
on a clean
I'm